It's time. The moment that was always destined to happen. Maybe, I don't really know, but it's finally time. The Gracious Eva Art Shop is now open. That's right, I have recently opened my very own Etsy shop. What's on there? Well, I'll tell you. We have poster prints and canvas prints of my artworks, as well as mugs, and I will keep updating the shop as well. So if there's an artwork from one of my videos that you'd like to see as a product, but I haven't listed yet, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to add them. Also, if you have any questions about the products as well, let me know in the comments, and I will answer them. But anyway, with that, I'll let you go now. Hello everybody, it's your pal CristyCB here, and this one is going to be a different sort of chill speed paint video. It's one that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I guess it's not technically a chill speed paint video, because in this video we are going to be talking about, or I'm going to be, you're not talking about it, unless you are. I'm not aware of it, but I'm going to be talking about two of my OCs that I haven't talked about before. These two are called Morgan and Collie, respectively, and you see I'm drawing them on screen right now. And I wanted to talk about them because I wanted to sort of start a new series where I talk about characters from my stories and stuff that I'm not quite ready on making yet, or just characters in general that aren't a part of any comic I'm working on yet, just because I want to share them with you all, and I want you guys to get to know them. And I have actually scripted part of this one, so that way I have everything, in line, and I'm not just rambling on and on. Although the way I have scripted this, it might still sound a little rambly. I do apologize for that. But with that, I think we should go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about two of my characters. So Morgan and Collie are part of a story I've talked a little bit about here. It's called Guardian Angels. It's a story I do want to make into a comic. However, it'll probably take a bit before that happens, and I have another comic project that I do want to work on before this one, so it's probably going to take a bit. But Guardian Angels is a story about the afterlife, where some people can become angels and work under the gods of death. One of these types of angels is called a guardian angel, and there's only two of them, including the main character Chris, who I have definitely showed on here before. The guardian angel's role is to protect the two gods of death, who happen to be the ones I'm drawing right now. They're basically twins, although kind of not really, but that's not important right now. But the two of them run the afterlife together, but also not really together, because they tend to not really like each other and get on each other's nerves a lot. Both of them are non-binary, agender specifically, but I wanted to present them as, presenting opposite ways. So Morgan is an agender who wears more masculine clothes, and Collie wears more feminine clothes. I wanted both of their designs to be based off of Victorian clothes, since I wanted Morgan's theme to be magician type when I initially designed them, although now both of them have their themes lean more towards sorcerer, but that counts, that works. And you can probably tell that their designs do have some similarities. These things include the square earring, the eyes and the hair, and other things like that. I like to add a lot of parallels in characters that are supposed to be a duo, but also like opposite things, but I'll talk about that later. Their colors also do this. Morgan having more green accents, and Collie having a deeper blue color accent. Two colors that make a more cyan or turquoise color. You might be wondering why I bring that up, but it's important, trust me. And as far as the rest of the color palette, it matches the same darker colors in black and white. And you might be wondering why I'm actually drawing them with two entirely different outfits right now. Initially, this drawing was going to be sort of like an experiment. I had these two outfits in my head, and I thought these two would work well in them, but while drawing them in just their main outfits, I got tired and didn't want to draw them in them anymore. I might come back to that idea at a later date, but for now, if you see me lining these outfits, I don't do anything with them, so it's fine. Now, I really want to talk about their personalities and their different magic abilities, starting with Morgan. They can be best described as flamboyant, dramatic, and overall a little silly. I also imagine that both of them talk in British accents. just because. Morgan tries to find ways to make their job more fun, and one of these ways is holding a magic show for newcomers to the afterlife. Because of their personality, they definitely come off as really over the top sometimes and self-centered. That's mostly just them putting on good showmanship, at least that's what they think. Deep down, they do have their worries about things, especially when it comes to things regarding the afterlife. That's why in the story, we'll see them going out to do certain jobs themselves, very much against Collie's wishes. They also have something worrying them from their past. Well, not exactly their past, but that's for a later date. But it's because of these things and them just being slightly reckless that they'll also get the main cast of the story into trouble by dragging them into whatever antics they want to do. But they're definitely capable of defending themselves. Their magical abilities are mostly light-based ones and ones that are tied to their props and weapons. The first obviously is their staff that they're currently holding and use as a walking stick. You'll rarely see them without this. And the second one is a set of cards that they can use to create light illusions. They can also use the cards themselves as weapons, sort of like Gambit from X-Men. I'm very much inspired by that. I'm still developing the details about the afterlife. I do know I want it to be like a mansion where each level represents the purity of the soul. So higher up, highest is the most pure, most good people up there. The second one is like middle, like kind of average, you're just like an average person. And then lowest is like very bad people go there. And for Morgan, they would be in charge of the highest level, while Kali takes care of the floor below it. Now, for Kali, I wanted them to be the exact opposite of Morgan in personality and also a bit design-wise. Like I said, where Morgan is more masculine, they're more feminine, and I do want to restate that both of them are non-binary, so even though Kali is very feminine and wears a dress, they are non-binary, and they are the type that will not hesitate to correct you harshly if you mistake them for that. They also show a lot more skin than Morgan does, and overall has a more high class and fancy look in their outfit. The end of their skirt even sparkles, like on the runway dresses. Wow. Their hair is also a bit longer and less spiky, but it's really their personality that contrasts with Morgan. Unlike them, they're very serious about what they do. They try to do a lot of things themselves and get mad when they feel like Morgan isn't putting in enough work, and they don't see the point in things like magic shows, so they often don't show up to them. When it comes to making decisions, they'll sometimes make choices that seem a bit drastic to others, which is how them and Morgan end up fighting a lot. Even though they are supposed to be in charge of only one of the floors, they are also the one who ends up working on the last floor as well, where the most impure souls are. This is mostly due to the fact that Morgan doesn't like to go there, again for personal reasons from their past, but Kali tends to go there, again, due to some trauma that they have about possibly their past, but also technically not, making sure that past mistakes don't happen again. Needless to say, however, the two of them are very dysfunctional and a lot of fights happen between them. Luckily, the other guardian angel, who's actually the oldest angel there, basically acts as their very calm parent and can find a way to get the two of them talking. And fun fact, Chris is Morgan's guardian angel, while the other guardian angel is Kali's technically. They both work to protect both of them equally, but the way it's ranked, they're technically paired with their respective gods. Kali's powers are very similar to Morgan's, where they're light-based, but a lot of them more offensive attacks than illusion-based. I didn't draw it here, but their weapon is a fan with knife blades in it, and they can use their light magic to make big sweeping attacks or create multiple light knives. Now, for the drawing of this, I don't know if it has played yet in the speed paint footage, but you might have noticed that there was a bit of a gap at some point. I even pointed it out in editing because I actually forgot to record a chunk of it. It's fun. I love when that happens. I love when I forget to record parts of the rendering. It's fine. I'm pretty sure I got the rendering of the eyes at least, and that's what matters. But for the drawing of this, I wanted the perspective to be more of a worm's eye view, which, if you know, it's basically the viewer looking up at the subject. Bird's eye view is the opposite, viewer looking down at the object, but this one is a bit more of a worm's eye view perspective, perspective, having them seem a lot more like leader-like, and the illusion that they don't fight, which they very much do. And I wanted a lot of like light and swirling effects around them in that cyan turquoise color. And I also wanted to have a almost like a spotlight effect, like the light is hitting directly in front of them, which is why in the rendering I basically rendered them like they would rendered them with that effect in mind, where the lighting would be. Although it didn't turn out super strong in the end, I still like how it turned out. And then towards the end of the drawing, I decided to add some text as well towards the bottom, because I felt like it needed a little bit of that. Sometimes I'll just do that when I feel like I've done everything with the drawing, but I feel like there still needs to be something there. So sometimes I'll either do the text thing, or sometimes if I'm feeling fancy, I'll create like a border around it as if it's like a card or something. But yeah, that's pretty much not a lot to say for the drawing. I will say it was very interesting drawing the two of them, like their eyes and their faces and stuff, because a lot of the times I would just draw one of them and then copy and paste it over onto the other. A very easy way to do it, and I think it turned out well. And like I said, I do want to do more of these. I might talk more about other Guardian Angel characters. There's these two, there's also Chris, and then there's also that other angel I talked about whose name is Elizabeth. Then we have two other angels named Amelia and Willow, and then a ghost named Zach. Yes, there's a ghost in here because I like ghosts, and of course I'm going to add a ghost into a story about the afterlife. But then there's also a ton of other drawings or a ton of other stories I do want to talk about. Obviously, I've talked plenty about my Mysteries of Dysteria characters, my Haikyuu's Magical World characters, and my Moonstone characters, which is the story I do want to work on maybe a little later, like after I get more into Haikyuu's Magical World, and possibly later in Mysteries of Dysteria. Although what will probably definitely end up happening is I'll probably finish Haikyuu's Magical World before Mysteries of Dysteria, but that's okay. It's just a longer series, it's fine. But yeah, so Guardian Angels, the comic for that will probably take a bit, but that's fine. And then I have a bunch of other stories, but I'll talk about that at a later date. And I think with all of that, I'll see you at the very end of this drawing. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me ramble a bit about two of my characters. I really like these two a lot. They're very fun to draw. If you would let me know if you liked me like scripting out me talking about my characters more, because I can definitely do that with later ones. Or if not, I could just ramble, and then that would be a little disorganized, but it's fine. But yeah, like always, I have my art shop down below where you can check out prints and mugs. I sell stuff down there. And then my comics, the ones that I just talked about, The Mysteries of Dysteria, Heike's Magical World, and Lost Hearts, all three on Webtoon, link below. And of course, all my artworks, including this one, on my Instagram. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!